Welcome to Uffsides. It's the divisional weekend of the playoffs. This is the very best weekend for an NFL fan, a real NFL fan, because it gives you the largest number of highest stake games. Next weekend, championship games, only 2 games. I want the full 14 hours. I'm Matt Ufford, as always, or most of the time, joined by fact checker Alex and sound dude Will. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Survived Ebola.
Nice work. First game on the slate, Saturday afternoon, the Ravens at Patriots. These teams have met in New England, 3 of the last 4 years? Is that right? 3 of the last 5 years?
3 of the last. This will be the 4th in 6.
And one of those was just a hangout.
This wasn't supposed to be math. I thought that I hated the Steelers more than any NFL team, and then last weekend I actually found myself rooting for the Steelers. I couldn't stomach cheering for the Ravens. They're just so outwardly despicable, from the very ownership down to the fan base and everything in between. Nobody's with me on this?
Well, most of your Steeler hatred is probably just rooted in SBXL.
Well, the Super Bowl 40, most people call it, yes, but that certainly had a lot to do with it. But then just the ubiquity of Steelers fans, and there
They're pretty bad.
Steelers, there we go. Ravens fans, worse this season. Patriots, the defense is getting healthy thanks to that bye week. The big thing for the Ravens is their defense. They got to Roethlisberger in wildcard weekend without having to blitz him. That's because Terrell Suggs, Elvis Dumervil, Haloti Ngata, McPhee, and Upshaw. Just loads of talent at linebacker on the D-line. Will the Patriots line be able to hold off the Ravens rush long enough for Rob Gronkowski, Brandon LaFell, and Julian Edelman to run free in the secondary? I think that's going to be the big question. What do you think happens?
I think they're not going to be able to hold him back. Elvis Dumervil and Terrell Suggs, probably 2 of the top pass rushers in the NFL right now. I think Brady will be under heat all day.
They've got a healthy Ladarius Webb and also 7 cornerbacks on IR for the year. I would say sorry, Baltimore, but OddsShark has the line on this game, 6.5 points for the Patriots. I'm going to take the Ravens. I don't know whether they're going to be able to win a 3rd game in New England, but I think they'll keep it within a touchdown.
That's a safe play. Take the points.
What about you, Will?
Postseason tie? Do they go to shootout in playoffs?
It's actually an erotica contest. Whoever can give the most referees an erection wins. Saturday night, the one that I'm interested in as a Seahawks fan, Panthers at Seahawks. These teams have faced off in the regular season each of the last 3 years, every time in Carolina. Every time, neither team has scored more than 1 touchdown. They've never scored more than 28 points combined. Every game has been decided by 5 points or less, and in every game, Carolina's had a second half lead, only for the Seahawks to end up victorious. Pretty cool, right?
No.
They're actually really boring, terrible games to watch. Hey, I only care about the result, baby.
It just sounds like the type of game where you're on your 3rd drink and you're like, I don't remember why I'm drinking. Is it because I'm going to be happy, or just to get through this?
It really depends on where you're coming from as a fan. As a Seahawks fan, I anticipate that this game will not be as close, because even though these teams are very similarly built, we've talked about the defensive battles that they've faced off in the previous years. You've got all-pro middle linebackers, Luke Kuechly on one side, Bobby Wagner on the other. The best coverage linebackers in the game, KJ Wright for the Seahawks and Thomas Davis for the Panthers. Both have healthy running games. Marshawn Lynch, of course, physical running game for the Seahawks. Jonathan Stewart's come on, had a really strong end of the season.
Is Unger supposed to be back?
Max Unger's back for the Seahawks at center. And of course, you have mobile quarterbacks with fantastic smiles. The key difference here, only one of these teams was 3-8-1 at one point this season.
They were 3-8-1.
They are now 500 for the season, and they're 1-0 in the playoffs. That's what matters, baby.
Oh, woof.
The other thing that I think is the big difference in this game, Russell Wilson has played 15 nationally televised games in 3 seasons. He is 13-2 in those games, 28 touchdowns to 4 interceptions in those games. The Seahawks won earlier this season, week 8, 13-9. They were without Bobby Wagner. They were without Byron Maxwell. They were without center Max Unger.
Chancellor was really
Cam
banged
Chancellor
up.
was banged up.
Even that final score just sucks.
Yes.
I don't want to watch this.
This one's gonna be more entertaining. I think this.
It's playoff football, and I don't want to.
I'm just gonna throw back a couple beers and enjoy a Saturday night ass kicking, or if things go awry, the drinking will be for a different reason. There'll be lots of swearing, and my baby will be awake because I'm beating the walls. Go Hawks!
Go good game, because this sounds like it's going to be a Garbage fire.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's fun to sit around the garbage fire and drink a few.
I know that. I grew up in Texas. We go to the Whataburger parking lot off I-10, set up a few tires, a little garbage, get a good flame going.
Sunday's early game is a treat. Cowboys at Packers. I'm surprised this is an early game. This feels like a primetime game. I think this is the best matchup of the weekend. Two classic NFL teams, humongous, annoying fan bases, and I would say the two best quarterbacks in the NFL this season, Tony Romo and Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, the likely MVP. Romo should be an MVP candidate. He probably won't just because of the Tony Romo.
His reputation.
His reputation precedes him.
I figure him and DeMarco are splitting votes, but we'll believe what we want to believe. It's cool.
Yeah. This is the first Cowboys playoff game at Lambeau since the '67 Ice Bowl. I just saw that written down here. I'm not really that familiar with the Ice Bowl. One of the greatest games in NFL history. Yeah, happened before I was born. Don't care.
My freezer can make ice. I'm not impressed.
These teams, even though they have this big history, they actually faced off in the playoffs like 3 times consecutively in the 90s, with the Cowboys winning each of those games. I don't think they faced off in the playoffs since then.
Well, partly because one team's been making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Other team hasn't really had a chance to.
It might have something to do with the Cowboys not being in the playoffs. Give me a weather report, Alex. What's it supposed to be down there? Up there?
They were saying like 15 degrees or so around kickoff. Should wind up dipping into single digits.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No, that's why it's not the night game. Jerry paid for the sun to be out.
Oh, he has actually paid for a multi-billion-dollar fake sun to be outside. Just a huge construction of heating lamps.
That's why he's gotten so wrinkly. He's been building that for a while.
Which team's better suited to the brutal cold? I'd say both these teams are flawed on defense. Not their strength. Both have terrific offenses, great passing games. Eddie Lacy, great running back for the Packers, but of course the Cowboys have an even better offensive line, best offensive line in the game. DeMarco Murray, NFL's leading rusher. A slight advantage to the Cowboys for a cold weather game. However, Packers are really good at home. 8-0 this season at home. Cowboys, however, 8-0 on the road this year. This is the third time in NFL history that a team with a perfect home record has hosted a playoff game against a team with a perfect away record. What about injury report? Anything happened last weekend for the Cowboys?
Rolando McClain has the concussion protocol. Doug Free will probably miss his 4th straight game, so Julius Peppers could have a big game.
Doug Free is a great MC name. The line on this game, according to our friends at OddsShark, is Packers by 6, and I'm gonna go with the Pack. They've been really, really tough at home all season, and while the Cowboys have been road warriors, I don't know, I'm just a believer of the Packers. They're getting less than a touchdown. I'm gonna take Aaron Rodgers, even though he's hampered with that calf injury.
Cowboys are gonna win.
Cowboys are gonna win?
Or whoever has the ball last is gonna win. It's gonna be one of those games.
It's like a game of Madden.
But I feel good about Bailey's leg / Romo grew up in Wisconsin, so I don't think the cold will be an issue for him. And they can just keep running it.
And the divisional playoffs wrap up Sunday afternoon with the Colts at the Broncos. Peyton Manning versus Andrew Luck. Peyton Manning Colts. Is there some sort of history here?
Andrew Luck went to Peyton Manning's passing camp. That's what you're talking about.
Oh, right.
I think that the Colts finally benched Trent Richardson, so they might have a little bit of a running game. Zerlon Tipton is now their number 2 running back.
That's not a name.
The Colts literally have a name generator as one of their scouts.
Zerlon Tipton?
Well, I gave you Griff Whalen last year. I got this guy Zerlon.
Trent Richardson has to look at the Broncos with like C.J. Anderson coming from the practice squad and then like going off on the rest of the NFL, and he's got to be like, the Broncos are where I need to be. Like, literally anybody can be great at running back on the Broncos.
Not Trent Richardson.
Last week, the Luck and the Colts, that game was not as close as the score would indicate against the Bengals. The Bengals really did not play very well. And a lot of that had to do with they didn't generate a lot of rush on Andrew Luck. The Broncos, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. These teams actually faced off in week 1 of the season. That was Julius Thomas time. He had 104 yards and 3 touchdowns. My fantasy team thanked him and then was sunk by him because he disappeared after his ankle injury. Only 66 yards since week 11. Julius Thomas, come on, man. Fantasy's over. I mean, it still hurts, you know?
Come on, you have a kid now. Focus on
yeah,
the
but
good
I'm focused
stuff.
on what matters. It's my fantasy team.
Last year's.
She'll learn how to do stuff on her. She's not going to remember any of this anyway.
These videos, though, these are forever.
Yes!
They get
Internet
posted.
lives forever.
How about Adam Vinatieri drug tested after he makes a
Adam
50-yard field goal?
Vinatieri clanked that 53-yarder like 3/4 of the way off the upright. So it would have been good from 75.
Piss in a cup.
All right, your kicker's on roids. So the Broncos, home team, favored by a touchdown. Gonna be tough for the Colts, who have a very good quarterback, but don't really have a great defense outside of Vontae Davis at cornerback. Thought experiment, how do the Colts win this game, Alex?
Kobe Fleener and Dwayne Allen. I think they got to just own the middle of the field. Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, probably two of the top 5 corners in the league. It's going to be tough for T.Y. Hilton to get open downfield. I think he's going to rely on his tight ends.
Score more points.
Score more points. Just need more Trent Richardson on the field.
Trent Richardson against the Broncos front would be so much fun to watch.
They would gain negative yards.
Yeah.
Broncos are favored by a touchdown. I like the Broncos by about 10 in this game. Maybe even more. I just think the Colts are definitely the 3rd best team in the AFC, but the gap, even with Peyton Manning not playing his best at the end of the season.
Which is the big storyline of this
It
one.
really is. Peyton Manning has not been himself at the end of the season. I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot in this game, and I'm going to go with the Broncos.
I think Broncos win, but I like the Colts to cover.
All right. What about you, Will? Who do you like to win the game?
Ooh, the viewer.
Those are your divisional weekend previews and picks. Enjoy the games. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.